Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Monday morning, October 17th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time to talk about strategies, share success stories, tactics, tips, and so forth. We did not get together on Friday as a number of you included, got together in San Antonio for our leadership retreat. Our regional vice presidents, that's the leadership team of our organization, get together on a periodic basis. So I encourage any of you who are not an RVP to consider becoming one. It's free and easy, and it puts you on the leadership team. But the point today is we're going to go through some of the findings and discussions and outcome from the leadership retreat. So as I'm sharing my screen with you here, we'll start with this line. Our top producing regional vice presidents met over the last 3 days in San Antonio, Texas. Had some great times. And we developed a 3-prong approach to better position white label partners to earn at least $25,000 a week. Let's talk about why that sentence exists, why those recommendations were made. Excuse me, why we're going to discuss these 3-prong strategies today. Number one, our RVPs are the cream of the crop. They want to make a lot of money through the leadership, development and leadership of a team of white label partners. But they don't make it at the cost of the white label partners. They instead earn overrides. So it's important to understand that our regional VPs are not mean, capitalistic, greedy people. They want the white label partners that they have on their team to survive and thrive. And by doing so, the RVPs make a lot of overrides. So it's really a holistic approach. What can we do to help more small business owners? And to do that, we need to have white label partners that are successful. And white label partners that are successful generates economic success via overrides to the RVPs. So this isn't about succeeding at someone else's expense. It's about all of us joining arm in arm and moving towards our goal, which is threefold: improving financial literacy, improving access to capital, and building lender compliant loan packages. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what's in it for these people that are, I don't want to say your bosses and my boss, but our bosses, but essentially our leadership team, they earn on average $2,500 in override income. So take Kat. Kat has brought on, I think, around 10 white label partners in the past week. Well, she's not doing it for charity. Her goal is to help those white label partners be successful. And by them being successful, she's earning an override of about $2,500 for each client that they enroll. So Kat knows, and Warren knows, and those of you that are white label partners, if you have, that are RVPs, if you have a white label partner that's just doing the minimum, helping 2 clients a week, 8 a month, that should be putting around $20,000 per month in override income for the RVP. Again, if you're not an RVP, but you'd like to become one, it's free and easy to do so. And you can just email us your request. There's no cost, no complicated contract, no performance measurements. No performance requirements, I should say. Okay, so that's the background. Now let's get into this 3-prong approach that the team came up with while on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. So let's start with number 1. We want to do more to support. Well, when I say verbs like we, this is what the RVPs are expecting of me and our team. So we're going to do what they tell us to do. So they want us to start having one-on-one calls with each white label partner. So in addition to these daily Zooms, which will continue, if you listen to them live, fine. If you miss it, we'll send out the YouTube. Nothing's changing there. But what the RVPs are frankly demanding, which is fine, is that we start having weekly one-on-one calls with the white label partners. Well, what's that all about? Well, we want to have one-on-one calls because we want to make sure Our clear goal, our clear and absolute goal is that every white label partner earns $25,000 a week. That's what they said. That's the message I'm taking. If a white label partner didn't make $25,000 last week, shame on us, because there's too much opportunity. There's some lack of implementation. Now, does all that money come up front? Of course not. We know as a white label partner, we collect some nearly up front with the deposit the client pays after their first tranche of financing. We get the performance fees. So we're not saying that all of it is deposited into the white label partner's account immediately. We know that there's a bit of a lag time, but the bottom line is we're talking about gross income using the accrual method of accounting. What the accrual method of accounting is, for those of you that don't know, means that we're tracking and recognizing income when it's earned. And so we have Terrence on here, who's one of our many CPAs that we work with. So accrual method is a good, accurate way of tracking the money that is earned, even though it's not been received yet. So the bottom line is we want to help. We want to ensure, help is too light of a word. We want to ensure that every white label partner is earning $25,000 a week. We're going to be laser freaking focused on it. And we're going to have a call every week, not beating them up over it, but did you earn $25,000 last week, white label partner? If no, then what's wrong? Let's fix it. How does your week look for the coming up week? I just visited with one of our white label partners, Mr. Johnson, this morning before our call, and it was great. So he's currently got 5 prospects in the queue. Okay, great, Mr. Johnson. How did you get each of those white label partner, each of those access to capital prospects, the agreement? Send them DocuSign. Great. E-signature software is fine. Not as good as online terms and conditions. Great, Mr. Johnson. So 5 people have your access to capital contract. Great. Did you set up, Mr. Johnson, daily reminders on your DocuSign? I asked him. He said, no. I said, you need to fix that, right? Because each day you want them to be prompted to sign. And then we talk about those prospects to figure out what it's going to take to get them closed. Because we need, Mr. Johnson, we need each of our white label partners to close at least 2 clients a week. 2 clients a week puts them on track for $25,000 a week, keeps them compliant. And what we know is people that make money will stick around. People that are not earning an adult income, they'll go find something else to do. Our RVPs absolutely hate the thought that they're going to go recruit a white label partner that's going to quit. But people quit that don't make money. People that are making $25,000 a week on a part-time gig, it's very unlikely they're going to quit. So you can see why this is important. Well, how do they earn $25,000? It's just simply 2 access to capital clients enrolled per week. We know we have the deposits that are received after the client receives their first tranche of financing, typically in 3 to 5 days, as well as performance fees. So this is composed of 2 access to capital clients being enrolled using gross income accrual method of accounting, assuming that each client's going to generate $12,500. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know. So what are we going to do on these weekly one-on-one support calls? Every white label partner, and we've opened up new slots, by the way, which you'll see down here, but we'll get to that in a second. So each white label partner should be scheduling a weekly call. Now, it's all about what's in writing, what's in the agreement. Does your white label partner agreement require you to have a weekly call? It does not. It does not. So is it optional? Technically, it's optional. But if you are a white label partner and you're not helping at least 2 clients a week, now you're not in compliance. And so it would be really important to, and this is where we're getting at here, you're going to be put on probation. That's what what the RVPs ask us to do, is if we have a white label partner that's not signing up at least 2 clients a week, give them notice, put them on probation. Say, hey, you've got to get on track. What can we do to help you get on track? You got 30 days because you're in breach. So again, our RVPs are good-minded people, but they want results. You got Warren on here, for example. Warren expects us to do everything humanly possible, legally, ethically, morally, to help those white label partners make $25,000 a week. Because if they're making $25,000 a week, he's making $20,000 a month in overrides. So what we were asked down on the Riverwalk by many of you from our leadership team is to kick it up a notch and expect performance, support the white label partners. If they're not participating, they're not complying, they get put on probation. We want to help them resolve that. And it's through these weekly one-on-one calls, in addition to these group calls, that will accomplish that. All right. So again, what's going to happen on these weekly one-on-one calls with the white label partners? Make sure that they had a good week last week. If not, why? Look at each of the clients that are in the funding process. In other words, those that have been enrolled. What's the status of those clients? Holding us accountable to do what we're supposed to do, making sure that the clients are engaged, because this is the white label partners' money that is contingent upon clients going through the process, and also the RVP's income. So we're going to review the clients, and then identify, okay, what's needed? What can we do to help you? Do you need help closing? Do you need help with leads? Where's the breakdown? What's keeping you from making 25 grand a week as a white label partner? All right, and so we already talked about this. So and we all know there's a 30-day grace period. When a new white label partner comes on, they got a 30-day grace period to get their legs underneath them, to get their sales funnel going. And so we're going to start doing one-on-one onboarding calls also with each new white label partner, and really set the tone for ongoing one-on-one calls. We have a specific link for our white label partners to use. As I mentioned, they expected us to, and we went in and restructured our schedules so we have more time to support the white label partners, and there's a specific link that's used for that. All right, so let's stop there. So this is the first of the three-prong approach to better support our white label partners, which helps them and helps the RVPs. Who has any questions on the rollout, effective immediately, of one-on-one calls? So with that, I got a question about the RVP. So the RVP can certainly offer additional training and support for their white label partners if they want, but they are not required to. So in other words, they can outsource all that to us. They can be as involved or uninvolved as they want. As long as they brought the white label partner on, they earn the overrides. And so, yes, Linda, and it's a good point. We should also have one-on-one calls with our RVPs, and we'll use the same link just to keep from being too complicated. So yes, each of you who are if you're a regional vice president, also schedule a weekly call. So the conversation will be slightly different, right? We'll talk about, well, how many white label partners do you have now? How are they performing? What can we do to support them? Are they plugging in, and so forth? So yes to Linda on that. If you are an RVP, whether you are also a white label partner or not, please schedule weekly one-on-one calls. You want to spend more time, more focus on helping you make money. If you're an RVP, you care about recruiting and having active white label partners. If you're a white label partner, you care about attracting clients and having clients go through the funding process. So we're going to really kick it up a notch to help each of you. We want our white label partners to be making at least $25,000 a week, gross income accrual method of accounting. And we want each of our regional vice presidents to be earning at least 6 figures. Okay, so any questions on the one-on-one calls? So we sent out notification to all white label partners and RVPs, well, shared this agenda. And so we will expect that the white label partners will start scheduling one-on-one calls. Do they have to? Technically not. But if they don't, and they're not producing, they're going to be put on probation. And then if they still don't have the one-on-one calls after 30 days, they're in breach of contract because of failure to perform. We don't want that. We want them to prosper. but we can only lead the horse to water. We can't make them drink. Quincy asked about choosing times. Yeah. So if you go to this link, calendly.com, IIMFL, white label support, then you should be able to pick the time. And so Warren says that link is not working, which is interesting. So let me go confirm that. I copied and pasted that. Give me just a moment to confirm it. And yes, it's working. So whatever you did, Warren, you typed it in wrong or didn't copy and paste. So it was copy and pasted from my Calendly, Warren, and I just used it. Okay, so that's strategy number one that came from the leadership retreat. Yeah, anyone that wants to be a white label partner, to be a regional vice president, what do? Email us, support@businessparalegalcorp.com, and we can get you set up free and easy. Okay, moving on to strategy number two to help our white label, new change, we'll say this. So we made some hint towards this last week. We wanted to wait until we got together in San Antonio with our leadership team. And again, you're welcome to join the leadership team and be at the next event. So no one is excluded. No one. We pay for travel, first class air, paid for hotel. We all ended up staying at the Hilton Embassy Suites, free evening drinks, free breakfast, great time. But anyway, so second initiative is we're going to proceed forward with developing the national team of insurance agents. These people are essentially white label partners, plus they're writing the key person policies. So let's go through this model as was decided by the leadership team over the weekend. They want to call them something different than white label partners, even though they're acting as a white label partner. So they're going to be called the elite agents. And they must be a licensed life insurance agent. And so they'll be doing both, right? They'll be a white label partner, no different than the white label partner role, but also they'll be the assigned insurance agent to the clients to write the key person policies. We'll get to that in a moment. So elite agents, who are also white label partners, are going to write at least 8 key person policies a month. Now, if you don't have a background in life insurance, you're like, what the hell is a key person policy? We don't really want to dig that deep now. But those of you that are life insurance agents know that key person policies are awesome policies to start a new client relationship with, because it is owned by the business is the beneficiary. The premiums are typically paid on an annual basis. You don't have chargebacks. They can be really nice sized policies. And so the elite agents are doing everything that we've been talking about as a white label partner, but they're also writing key person policies. And so how much they make off the policies will vary, because they structure. The insurance agent is the expert. These are very smart people. They're designing the policy based upon the needs and the suitability of the client. So they could make a lot more than $1,000 a policy, but let's just be conservative. So they're still going to make their normal money as a white label partner per month, but also they're going to be writing the policies. Now, what good insurance agents do, and you probably can infer this, is they'll use this as the door opener, but then they'll identify other asset protection needs and end up writing other policies with the client, such as buy, sell, setting up annuities, even dependent life and so forth. But regardless, that's indirect income, so we don't really associate it with what we're talking about here. But lots of benefits. So those of you that are RVPs, this is huge, because in your state, each RVP is assigned to a state. And so we want one elite agent per county. They are going to be both the white label partner and the assigned insurance agent. So why does that help you, RVPs? Well, now you're making an override from every one of their clients. We're going to support them, train them, assist them. You as a RVP should make 20 grand a month off of each elite agent that you have in your team. on your team. And all you need to do is look up, Google, how many counties are in your state. So if you're the RVP of Texas or Florida or Georgia or Illinois, whatever state you're in, look, parishes in Louisiana, but look up how many counties or parishes there are. That's how many elite agents you should have on your team. Take that number and multiply it by 20,000 a month, and that's your potential income. Were you guaranteed that? No, because you got to be able to fill the slots. But the nice thing is we're not trying to sell these elite agents anything. They come on just as a white label partner. They don't have to pay anything. We train them, we support them, and plus they get to write the policies. So thus, those of you that are RVPs, you want to be focused, effective immediately on building your team of elite agents. Now, we're going to continue to roll this out throughout the week so you have more material to use. But the concept is it's a team of people who are licensed life insurance agents that are also white label partners. There's really not much else to it. It's a white label partner that's also an insurance agent that wants to represent that county. But we're not selling markets, they don't have to pay anything. So we've worked it out. So each RVP will be provided a free training page, and you'll be able to refer your prospective elite agents to that training page. So that'll be rolled out this week. So that's going to be a nice new tool, free, for our RVPs to be able to make it easier for you to bring on elite agents. We're looking for one elite agent per county. And again, there's no strings attached. There's no cost to be an elite agent. They will be set up normally as a white label partner, of course. Elite agents won't have implementation responsibilities. In other words, they'll bring the client on just like a white label partner does. They will write the policy or policies, but they won't have to do the mentoring. They won't have to help the client develop the business plan and financials, and that. We'll handle that internally for you. Elite agents can write the key person policies, and this is a really big deal. And this was a bit of a heated discussion in San Antonio over the weekend, because there was two groups. There was the one group that said, man, we should require these agents to write policies through certain organizations and certain types. And then the other group said, no, just let them do it the way they want to do it. So we put it, frankly, to a vote, and the slight majority was exactly as stated. So your agents are going to love this. They can write the policy wherever they want. I know some of you are with WFG, some of you with Primerica, some of you are with other organizations, and that's fine. So there's no change. We're not requiring that agent to go get appointed with a different carrier or write different policies than they're used to. They don't have to do that. It's whatever policy they want to use that's suitable for the client. So we're staying out of their decision-making on that. And as I mentioned before, insurance agents typically are looking for new relationships, and small business owners are great relationships for insurance agents to have, because they own a business and they also are individuals. So there's usually twice the need that a business owner has as compared to just a normal individual. And so I just gave some examples of other types of policies that they could sell. Again, that's indirect. We're not involved with that. Just that is an important attribute if you're an RVP out building a team of elite agents, making sure that they know that we're looking for an agent, for instance, in Hillsborough County, Florida, that's going to write at least 8 key person policies a month. Plus, in addition to that, we need someone that can help write buy-sell policies and set up annuities as needed. And when you tell them that's what you're looking for, one agent in that county, in that state, to do this, and there's no cost, you're going to get a really good response. And Pauline's asking, yes, so these elite agents count the same as a white label partner for the RVP, because our hope is that our RVPs are active. There's technically not a production requirement, but yes, because an elite agent is a white label partner. It's just in addition to that, they're doing something above and beyond writing these policies. And so we're going to set up a separate coaching and mentoring process to help these elite agents, someone who is a licensed agent that has done this successfully. So it won't be me. So just for clarity, I'll be the guy working with the white label partners on these one-on-one support calls. That is me. We're hiring a new person to do this. This is not me. Okay, so who has any questions regarding the elite agent model? Again, this is a soft rollout. We're letting you know it's coming. As we come through this week, go through this week, we will put more meat on the bone, but it's a very simple concept, right? We're looking for one insurance agent per county, per state. They'll be recruited by the RVP of that state, and they're going to do two things. They'll be a white label partner, but they'll also be an insurance agent, which they already are, and they'll be writing the key person policies in that county. All right. Quincy is asking about the RVP agreement. Now, I don't think you'll find the RVP agreement in the Dropbox, but if you're interested in becoming a RVP, we've already covered what needs to be done, and we'll send over the little Adobe pack. It's real simple. No fee, no penalties for lack of production. It's just come aboard, represent your state, and if you perform, stay in the role, and if you don't perform, then we're going to need to replace it. Okay, so again, we had the leadership retreat in San Antonio, Texas with our RVPs. They came out with a three-prong effort. First of which was have weekly one-on-one support and accountability calls with our white label partners. We've talked about that. The second is to really treat this group of licensed insurance agents a bit different. And so this is crucial if you're an RVP, because you're going to be wanting to fill up the counties in your state. And then third is the landing pages, which we've not talked about yet. So what have we seen? We've seen that without doubt, most, not all, most of our top producing white label partners have a landing page. And that's, so in other words, they have somewhere to direct their small business prospect to. And so that minimizes the amount of talking they have to do, and it automates the enrollment. So we want to make sure that if you want, you're not required to have it, but we want to make sure that any white label partner wants a landing page, has a landing page, and that has the ability to allow the clients to sign up with terms and conditions. I can't emphasize this too much. You'll have such higher conversion ratios if you as a white label partner drive people to a landing page, they can click I agree, and they just became your client. That is far superior to sending a DocuSign, Adobe, or some other e-signature, and it's still legally compliant and binding. So if you're an RVP, you really want to encourage the white label partners on your team to get a landing page. If you are a white label partner, then you really want to have a landing page for these reasons. You're going to find it easier to sign up clients, and you'll have more clients sign up because it's simple. So, second bullet, we want to assist all white label partners in having their landing page with built-in terms and conditions. Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, can build this for you. If you want to go build it on your own, that's fine. So again, it's not a requirement, but it's a strong recommendation. Why? Because RVPs want to make more money. How do they make money? By white label partners making money. How do white label partners make money? By enrolling clients to go through the capital raise process. So everyone wins. This is not an issue of how does someone benefit at other people's expense or detriment. Not at all. We all succeed together. But we grew so much, we needed to have a leadership team. We have that, although we're continuing to add additional leaders, RVPs, to the national team. And so if you're an RVP or just simply a white label partner, strongly encourage having a landing page with terms and conditions. And it looks like I ran out of space there on this last one. So if you are a white label partner and you don't have online terms and conditions, you don't have a landing page, no worries. We'll talk about it on our next call, because what? We're going to start having weekly calls. We're going to figure out what's going on if you're not hitting at least 2 deals a week, earning at least $25,000 a week. We're going to figure out what's the problem. What can we do better? What can we do to assist you? And so if you don't have a landing page, and it doesn't have to be from Scott, it can be from wherever you want. But if you don't have your business set up properly, let us know. We have some white label partners that just don't have enough working capital. They have not set themselves up on payroll. They have no marketing budget. Okay, so there's the problem. Let's fix that. That's easy to fix. So that's what we're going to be doing on a one-on-one basis, which we really can't accommodate as a group. We have, 419 people on this Zoom. There's no way that we can properly address individual needs. We can cover important topics, but this is crucial. So if you're a white label partner, it's crucial, not mandatory, but crucial that you start scheduling your weekly calls. If you're an RVP, it is crucial, not mandatory, but crucial that you get the white label partners on your team to schedule these one-on-one calls. All right, so Quincy asked, he is currently an RVP and he's looking to sign up a white label partner. Great, so let's talk about that process for a moment. It's not shown on the page, but if you're an RVP, when you signed up, which doesn't cost anything, we sent you an RVP onboarding email, and on that onboarding email was the white label partner agreement attached as a PDF. So what do? You go get the white label partner, prospective white label partner, to sign that agreement, and then you submit that agreement into us. All right, and so that's how it works. So any RVP should have the white label partner agreement template in Adobe on their RVP onboarding email. If any of you don't have that, what do you need to do? Email support so we can resend you the RVP onboarding. All right, so Sam's asking about how long is an RVP? Well, we're doing it month to month. Doesn't cost anything, but we need RVPs that produce. I have some RVPs that, man, they're smooth talkers, and they'll tell me they're a smooth talker, and they'll tell me that they're really good at what they do. And then we're like, fuck, man, you're not recruiting anyone. You're just jittering and jabbering. So we obviously need RVPs that produce, not that just talk about producing, but produce. Well, what does produce mean? It means they're adding white label partners, and now under this new campaign, adding elite agents. They need to be filling up their counties. They should develop a little spreadsheet with a row in the spreadsheet for each county that's in their state, and then either it's blank next to it or they have an elite agent's name next to it. I realize right now this is a new initiative, so all the counties are probably blank, but they shouldn't remain blank, right? And so that's how the RVPs make money, and that's how the RVPs stay in their role. Now, if the RVP gets started, they bring on some, but they're just not very good, we may ask them to step down, but they would not forego the overrides that they have already established. So we'll pick on Warren, and Warren's a top producer, so this wouldn't happen to Warren, but let's say Warren becomes an RVP of his state, and he doesn't perform. He brings on 2 white label partners, or 1 or 3, doesn't matter the number, but it's just not filling out the state at all. So I might say, well, Warren, what do we need to do to fix the problem? If we can't fix the problem, I say, Warren, we need you to step down as an RVP. We're going to put someone else in your state. And so would Warren lose overrides off the people he brought? Absolutely not. No, that wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be fair. But then the new RVP comes in for that state and continues to build it out, and the new RVP gets overrides for their production, which is fair. So no one will lose the work that they perform, but it's no surprise, right? We need RVPs that are producers, that are generating coverage. We need geographic coverage. The more of these elite agents we have, the better off we all are. All right, who else has questions, comments, concerns over this 3-prong approach to better help white label partners do what? We want them to each make at least $25,000 a week. If that sounds outlandish, then you don't understand the comp model. That means helping 2 clients a week enroll in access to capital. That's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to do something crazy like build a rocket ship to Mars, which is not unrealistic, but it's a big project. We just need to add 2 people a week to access to capital. Well, what's the access to capital proposition? No upfront cost for the client, no minimum credit score, no minimum time in business to enroll. Anywhere in the United States, just needs to be a legal industry. We guarantee them at minimum of $100,000 capital raise, and they'll get their first tranche of financing in 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 7 days. I mean, you'd have to be really poor at what you do to not be able to make that pitch. And so when we're having our weekly calls with the white label partners, if they're not hitting their numbers, it's not some uncomfortable conversation, but it's just simply like, well, what's going on? Let's start with how many leads you currently have. And so we need to figure out where the breakdown is. Do we not have enough leads? Well, fine, we can fix leads like that. You know, there's plenty of resources for leads. Or the gentleman I talked to this morning said, no, I don't really have a problem with leads. I'm not good closing. And it's like, well, how can that even be? How could you not be good at closing when you have this proposition? Let's go through it again. Access to capital, grant subsidized program, guarantees a minimum $100,000 capital raise. There's no upfront cost, and we'll get you your first tranche of financing within a few days. Let's give it a try. And then if you're following this model, you just say, okay, I'll give you my link, go over to my landing page and just click on the terms and conditions. Bam, we get started. People will do that. So part of it is confidence. Part of it is having the tools and resources, but part of it is just activity, right? If we don't have some activity to generate leads, to drive them to your landing page, then it's no surprise that we're not doing well. All right, so let me shrink this down and we'll wrap up with questions that you all have. Let's see. Quincy asks, with white label partners, do they sign up under their personal name or business name? That's up to them. They don't have to have a business in place to be a white label partner. And white label partners do not need to be insurance agents. So that's not a problem. Now, you need to be an insurance agent to be part of this elite agent model, but you do not need to be an insurance agent to be a white label partner. So RVPs can recruit elite agents who are life insurance agents that become a white label partner, and RVPs can recruit, we'll call at-large white label partners that are not insurance agents. That's fine. We're not changing the requirements to become a white label partner, but we know, and you've seen it, insurance agents are smart, motivated, successful people. That is a good template to follow to bring on and build out our team of white label partners. So are we switching to that exclusively? No, not a requirement, but that is what we'd like to focus on. And that's what we're asking our RVPs to focus on. So if you have a prospect that wants to become a white label partner that's not an insurance agent, can you still bring them on? Absolutely. We'll love them, we'll work with them, and they'll be able to have the same opportunity to succeed. But there's no doubt that insurance agents are a special breed of professionals. They're producers, they're results oriented. And when they see that we can provide them a platform at no cost to generate an extra 8 to 10 life insurance policies in the form of a KPP per month, plus add them 6 digits of additional income without conflicting with what they're doing, you're going to see warm response. We had first started the elite agent model back before the pandemic, and we quickly, within 3 months, had over 100 elite agents. Now, it wasn't free back then. They had to pay. So again, that was pre-pandemic, and of course, everything that happened and that model didn't make it through the pandemic, but we're relaunching. We kind of call it 2.0 now, where there's no cost and you understand the model. So if you're an RVP, getting agents on in each county of your state is not going to be difficult. The fact that they know that they're going to be the only agent in their county is going to be very motivating for them to sign up. All right. Quincy asked, will all the $100,000, will all the access to capital clients have a key person policy? Well, I guess the technical answer to that is no. Would they benefit from it? Probably, but that's really between the agent, Quincy. You and I aren't involved with that. So the agent will sit down and typically do what's called, and Terrence could educate us on this, a financial needs analysis. Isn't that right, Terrence? An FNA, financial needs analysis. And that evaluates the asset protection needs the client has, and that agent will then work with that client directly and decide what coverage is needed, what's within their budget, and so forth. So we're not forcing that on anyone, but the chances are that they could benefit from it, and the key person policy can serve as collateral in certain circumstances. All right, so there we have it. Good to be back with you. Sorry we missed you on Friday. We'll be back tomorrow. Sent this agenda out to everyone. If you're interested in becoming an RVP, email us. If you're a white label partner, please schedule your weekly call. Not required, but it'll help. Doesn't cost anything. And we've got to make sure that you're compliant. If you're not bringing on at least 2 clients a week, you're technically out of compliance. And we don't want that to be a hardship. We want to resolve that problem so we can cure that breach. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.